Alright, hey, it's Adventureruler. How's it going, guys? It's real early for me. I'm doing this real early in the morning. But I just wanted to show you guys something. Now, this is probably the least complicated combat challenge that I've ever done. Even though it was super simple and super easy, I still wanted to showcase it because I feel like it's still a learning experience. So, this Bokoblin camp is located in Shadow Pass in the Akkala Highlands, right? All this area being in the Akkala region. This is right, if you're coming up, let me look at the map exactly. So if you're coming from Central Hyrule or Lanayru and you're traveling upwards, right, and you pass the South Akkala stable, you keep going up, passing Canlet Ridge, and you start entering these woods, the Bokoblin camp is going to be on your right, and it's going to be sort of under, which is a really bad position for them, because you're going to see in a minute. So, let's begin. So again, this is a real fast one, this is a real quick one. So the first thing I do was, you know, it's funny because, like, I waited a day before doing this Bokoblin camp, right, because I wanted to give my brain, you know, a break, you know, before I go back to strategizing, you know, in any sort of battles or combat, right? So, you see right off the bat, you can see that the camp is sort of on the bottom, right? A disadvantageous, if that's a word, right, position. This is the path that you can walk across or take your horse. That's what I was doing with Epona, trying to look for this Boko camp, right? I didn't want to waste any time, so I just grabbed Epona, and I'm like, you know what? You know, let me just use her, right, to get to where I want, and not have to walk a bajillion miles and end up wasting 10 minutes in just walking. So, I sort of get into this area, because this is the main trail, so I climbed up like a couple of mountains, just like short mountains, not too tall, to get to this side, because this was the closest I can be without any of them seeing me. Because the day before, when I found this camp, I noticed that this whole camp is archers. Every single enemy that's living in this camp all wield the bow. But this is what's interesting, right? You'd think that would be dangerous, right? You'd be like, oh my god, bro, all bows, oh, this is gonna be hell. But you're gonna see it actually was the easiest camp I've ever done. Because this is why. So I jumped from this side. Also, I don't know if I finished my thought, but basically I stood on this side because they can't see me. And I wanted to basically see every single enemy to make sure, you know, I know where they're at and I know my battle plan. And it doesn't even matter because usually what I do is fly in or walk in whistling or flying in with a stab. So, the first enemy I take care of, and I'll explain this in a minute. The first enemy that I jump in and stab from the sky and hit with my sort of like ground pound attack, right? Because this sends them flying if you do that. It only does about half his health, so I hit him again. And look, this guy hasn't noticed a thing. Is it just me, or like maybe the weather? Because it was raining during this time. It's like, yeah, 11 a.m. in game, and it's raining. Does that have to do with if the Bokoblins can hear you or not? Or are just the basic, like, teal, whatever color this is, Bokoblins just that dumb? I just crushed his friend, and this dude's like, he's like on lookout still. See, it wasn't until I got to this range from me just walking towards him is when he noticed. And just before he whipped out the horn, right, to let his buddies know upstairs and downstairs that I'm here, I slice him across. What did I cut? It looks like I cut him in the neck, or like the lower jaw, or maybe the chest. And then boom. Because these are the weak Bokoblins, the Master Sword only needs to hit them twice. So I took care of him. And still, look, no exclamation points, nobody making noises. Why don't they hear me? Like, it's not a problem. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Like, are these guys stupid? You know? So then I start walking. Right here is when I start heading to the 3rd floor, is when I start thinking, I'm like, wait a second, should I just sneak up on all these guys? Right, because you could do sneak attacks in this game. If you walk up behind an enemy, it'll let you do what's called a sneak strike, and you'll basically, Link will pull back as if he's gonna, you know, hammer somebody and just cut them right down the spine. And for some enemies, that could be an instant kill. Right, so I was thinking that, but I'm like, nah. And plus, he already noticed me once I finally got to the 3rd floor. He noticed me and went for the horn, right? So then I was like, alright, well, screw it. All these guys are archers, so if they... And now that all of them are aware, you can see Epona. See? I told you! Right, this is the trail. You can grab a horse. And I was like, let me just grab Epona, get to this camp. Because the South Akala stable is not that far. Right? If you're taking a horse, that is. She's just chilling in the back, watching me kick some ass. So, now that they're aware, now that all the enemies in this camp, in their base here, are aware of my presence, now I start rushing. You can see how, you know, I'm just chilling, and I go right to... No, actually, no, I started rushing because I was like, screw it, right? What am I going to sneak around for? 2 guys are done, and these are the weak bokoblins, so I didn't have much to worry about. So I ran straight to him. 2 cuts. How'd I get him? How did I get him? I want to see. 1 right on the kneecap, it looks like, and then 1 right on the top of his skull. 2 slices. Yeah, by the time he turned to me, I'm already too close. Yep, I went for the dash attack. It's when in the middle of running, you press attack, and Link will do like a sliding slice like that. So I take care of him. 2 slices. Now, this is where I have to go on the defensive. Because look, as soon as I took care of him, he's now, let me do it frame by frame. Yep, now he already has taken aim. He hasn't seen me. Well, let me see actually. Oh no, he's also doing the horn. In case his other buddies did not hear him blow the horn. Right, to let them know that there's an intruder. Once this happens, right, it's common sense to bring up the shield. Don't try any funny business. Just respect the archer and respect that he has you in his target. He has you in his targets, right? So I'm like, alright, no problem. He can't get through the shield. And trust me, he does not have the type of aim to get me perfectly in the freaking scalp or my legs. So I just start walking up these steps to the 3rd floor, nice and easy. I'm like, go ahead, I'm just gonna wait for you to shoot, or when I get close enough, I slice you. So now he shot. Yep, and he went to give his arms a break, and this is his doom. I take care of him twice. It's because he took so long to shoot me when he took aim. And these guys are kind of the same, like, race, I guess? Ethnicity? I don't know. That's getting a little too real, I guess. When he brought up the bow, I was like, I'm still going to keep my shield up. Right, for sure. That is the smartest thing you could do, is keep your shield up against an archer. But also, I was so close that, you know, I could just finish him off too. So now, that is 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor of bad guys taken care of. Let's see what I do here. So, yeah. I turn around and I start looking for these guys. And that's when I see that the next bokoblin, probably from the 1st floor, right, ground level, he probably came rushing up to get me. And he blows his horn, yeah, and he's screwed. He died because of that. This guy wasn't even paying attention to where I was. Right? Who knows? Maybe this horn was to call for backup. But once I take care of the last guys on the final floor, oops, I start coming downstairs. I start walking down the steps. And this guy reaches the 3rd floor and starts blowing his horn again. What an idiot. At least look around, you know what I mean? Check your surroundings. I was like, alright, sweet. He's right in front of me. Right? He's busy blowing his horn, and his whole spine is visible. He's just giving me his spine. So I'm like, alright, sweet. I jump and go for a jumping slice, and take care of him in 2 hits. And you'll notice, you'll see right here, I took care of this guy in 1 jumping slice, and he was done. This is because, as I was falling, I hit him with the sword first and then ground pounded. So that's 2 different attacks, right? That's if anybody's curious to why I hit him and he's still alive, and this guy died in just 1 falling attack, right? And also they're the same color, right? They're all the same, you know, low-level grunt. This is why he died in 1 hit and this guy died in 2 hit. Or no, this guy died in 1 hit. This guy, he died in 1 hit, and this guy died in 2 hits. That's why. Just have to explain that in case anybody, you know, could have been, you know, curious or confused. So now I'm looking for any other enemies, because I know the first time that I saw this camp, I was using the Sheikah Slate to zoom in, right, to get that real far-looking camera, to look around and make sure, you know, because the one thing that I do, even though, yes, I could be very... I could take the Master Chief route, right? Shoot now, ask questions later. But the one thing that I definitely do, I try to do every time before I enter the battle, or right when I try to do it before I enter any battle or approach a camp. There you go, perfect terminology there, perfect words. Is I count how many enemies are there. So I know after I take care of any enemies in my vicinity, right? In my immediate vicinity, I'm not going to walk down the stairs after putting my sword and shield away and then one of these guys get a cheap shot. Right? I know, okay, I took care of 1, right? Climb up the stairs. 1, 2. 2 guys are done. How many guys are left? Right? Because look, I start looking around. Right, and I recommend this to anybody that is doing any sort of combat or attack or war, even, well, not war, but like, you know, airsoft, like that, stuff like that, you know, just to keep your awareness intact. Right here, I start looking for the next enemy because I know there's another enemy, and it just so happened this is what this guy did, right? This was his decision. As soon as he got up the steps, he called for backup to maybe help look for me, probably. But after I take care of these 2 guys, I start looking, and then I'm just keeping an eye. I put the camera this way to keep an eye on if anybody did go up the steps, because look where I'm heading. I'm going this way, because I was thinking maybe I should just get to ground level already, right? Maybe none of them are going to climb up, but this guy did, and that's when I'm like, sweet. I'm getting him, right? So, you know, that's just a little bit of, you know, technicalities. So anyways, I take care of him, and that should be everybody on the camp itself, on these wooden platforms. So I go downstairs and I start looking, because I swear, you know, I saw some on ground level. Oh yeah, and this is my mistake. Look what I did here. I kept my sword and shield unequipped. I don't have it in hand. That's another rule of thumb you have to have. You have to make sure that all the enemies in the area are defeated before you put your weapons away. Because look, right here. You got to take your weapons out. Right? Because sometimes you aim at an opponent, and Link will put a shield up. That's just automatically how you put the shield up. It's with the R button. Right? The ZL button. But if you just aim at an opponent, but you're not battle ready, the sword will still be in Link's scabbard. So I don't know, that may affect, you might get, you know, that second half a second where, you know, you can attack and your opponent can, you might get screwed, right? Right, every second counts in a fight. So I bring the sword out, and yes, I am gonna end up walking slower, right? Because you can't sprint with your sword in hand. Link will automatically put it away once you go into a full sprint, right? Holding the B button and then using your stamina gauge. Stamina gauge, whatever. So I keep the... Yeah, that's another thing. If you're going to bring out the glider, Link needs both hands for the glider. So you'll have to bring out the sword and shield again. Oh, okay, here we go. So once I got to ground level, I finally saw the final bokoblin in this camp. So I go for a full sprint. And right here I'm thinking, like before I even got near him, for some stupid reason, this game will decrease the energy of your Master Sword if you use the beam, right? If you shoot them with the beam. Don't ask me how that makes any sense. That still annoys me, and I will always complain about that and hate that mechanic in this game, is breakable weapons. The thing is, like, once you get the Master Sword, I don't even mind about the breakable weapons, because I'm only going to use the Master Sword. It's my favorite sword in the game. But I don't know why using the beam, right, you're not actually hitting them with the actual bala, right, with the actual blade itself, damages the sword. I don't know how that makes sense, right? It's a beam, right? That should be the safest option you can use and the least damaging. But no, the game treats it as if you're still slicing someone across the face with the actual sword. I don't know. Go talk to whoever developed the game and had this stupid idea. So, I was like, wait, the last time that I did a Bokoblin a combat challenge, I didn't use any of my boomerangs. I have plenty of boomerangs, right? They can take all the damage they want. Because I'll just, I'll just get another boomerang. But if the sword has to recharge, that I'm just forced to wait 10 minutes, no matter what. I know you can't pause. You have to be in-game walking around, or standing around, or crouching, or sitting, or whatever. On your horse. Or in the sky. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Let me kill this guy already. So I bring out the boomerang, right? Now he's down. I re-grab my boomerang. I should have pressed start here to grab the Master Sword, because I have a lot of boomerangs in hand in case I do these challenges. But whatever, I scroll all the way to the sword, run up, and boom. And that's it. I win. I'm still, so right here, I'm still looking for enemies just in case. And again, I didn't have my sword and shield out, but during this time when I was fighting, I noticed that Link went into a crouch position, right? Like he's prepared, he's ready. And that's when I'm like, oh shoot, there could be enemies still nearby. Like, Link gave me that, right? That's what I got from that. So I pulled out the sword and shield, and I'm still looking, right? I have to walk at a slower pace, but at least, I'm prepared to defend myself, right? I couldn't hear any, because I do have headphones on during the fight, during the battle, so I should be able to hear anything, right? Any noises, anybody running on the grass, but I couldn't hear anything. So I decided, to take the Sheikah Slate out, zoom in somewhere. There's a lot of bushes and trees, so if somebody did want to just sneak attack me, it would have worked. Because there's just so much to pay attention to. Luckily, after the fight, it became like 12:10 p.m. in-game, and the sun started to kind of come out. Now I'm able to see better, right? So once I realized, right, once I just decided, okay, I don't see anybody else, I win, I just, victory dance. Victory teabag, more like it. So, yeah. This is the Bokoblin camp in the, let me double check again, in Shadow Pass. In Shadow Pass in the Akkala region. Yeah, it's all archers, and I honestly thought it was going to be more difficult. I really thought it was, but then I was just like, wait a minute, let me just simplify this. So I just ran in, killed everybody, and then I won. Like, all these guys kind of sucked. See, now, this is where it would have been a huge difference, is if all the Bokoblins that I fought right here, if all these guys, right, these two guys at the top, this guy on the steps, right, third floor, second floor, and the one in this corner that I got with the boomerang, see, if they were higher level Bokoblins, already this would have been like double more difficult, 2 times more difficult, maybe even 3, because these are level 1 low level Bokoblins. I only have to hit them twice and they die. The Master Sword kills them in 2 cuts. If they were the white one or the black one, right? Well, actually, no, the red ones are actually the low level ones. These are level 2, I think. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, the red Bokoblins are actually the lowest level. But these guys still kind of suck, though. But I'm just saying, like, if these, if these were the high level ones, yeah, this fight would have went a lot differently, and I wouldn't have defeated this. I wouldn't have completed this challenge in my first try, because this was first try. This is the first time I ran in here, by the way. Like, that's why I was looking for these guys, right? That's why I took that time to look around, because I'm like, this is my first time fighting. I haven't assessed the amount of threats, right? So yeah, if you love just running in, attacking, you don't want to strategize, you just want to go in and murder, or you just want to go in and beat up everybody, beat up all the bad guys, then I would recommend this camp. Because these guys, especially if you sneak up on them, because technically that's what I did. That wasn't my intention, but because these guys are idiots, I sneak attacked both of them, right? And it wasn't until this one blew its horn, was then everybody was like, okay, there's an intruder, keep an eye out, right? So yeah, guys, whenever I do these battles, I record the full fight uninterrupted with no commentary, just the gameplay and the sound on my Twitter. Feel free to post your fights and at me, or post it in the Discord server. Also, I always forget to say this, but whenever I do these combat challenge analysis, I put the full fight in the description, so you don't have to go looking for it or make a Twitter if you don't have one. You could just click the link in the description, and it takes you to the full fight. So yeah, just so you know, if you're interested, that's an option. All right. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Try out these challenges for yourself, and have a good one.